Metadata. Tags. More and more tags. Let's face it, managing an ever-growing media collection feels like you're on a never-ending obstacle course. But not anymore. It's time to propel your content library into the future. Moments Lab, the company leading the way in AI video search, presents MXT1, a new AI indexing technology more intelligent and powerful than ever before. Trained on hundreds of thousands of hours of media, sports, and entertainment audiovisual content. MXT1 links modalities like faces, texts, logos, and speech together to instantly generate human-like descriptions. Yep, just like a human would. Imagine how easy it becomes to find the right sequence. No need to think about the right keyword anymore. Just type what's on your mind. MXT1 will do the rest. Our technology is a game changer for content producers who will be able to search their large video collections as easily and intuitively as they search the web. Oh, and there's one more thing. Our low energy consumption model means MXT1 can index more than 500 hours of video per minute. Yep, it's that fast. And as a result, it's also 7 times more cost-effective than other cloud media platforms. Meaning indexing at scale with AI is now a business reality. MXT1 is now available on Moments Lab.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this unbelievable and for sure unique tech talk. This year is a very great pleasure to speak with you from Istanbul in Turkey. Now is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a wonderful view of the Bosphorus Channel beyond me, but it's quite impossible to see for the light. Very impressive that we receive in a sunshine day in Istanbul. And it's a very deep pleasure to make this tech talk in English again after a long time, just to welcome a very important speakers, just for the title of the tech talk, and obviously for the importance to be with you and just talking about the trends, because the title of the tech talk today is Technology Innovations Drive 2025 Media Trends, with these amazing speakers. First of all, apologize for the absence of Diana Arsenibai Kairon. Diana is in an important meeting and what is impossible to welcome Diana, but for sure will be in the next future. And now it's time to present our speakers, and you will see the kind of energy, atmosphere, and more that we live together today, even for a lot of people that watching us. So welcome, first of all, is in Beirut, Lebanon. So it's quite not so far from Istanbul, and it's quite interesting to welcome Mr. Wissam Sabah, the Mangomolo. If you remember Wissam in Lucca in the edition of the last year, Wissam, just to smile and to say hello to our audience, because it's a great honor to welcome you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for having me on this platform.
Yeah, just a question. In your opinion, beyond the activities of Mangomolo, what is the most important trends actually?
Look, lately AI has been the biggest word that we are hearing in the industry. And I think because it taps into different parts of the media sector. So I would say that this is not a trend, it's more of a future for how the industry is changing. So AI is definitely one of those big words. We do have another few, but I think AI is the most significant one to talk about.
Okay, thank you so much. So in Beirut now is 1:07, and we go instead in Oxford. Well, I guess now is 11:07. It could be, Jonathan. Welcome.
It's exactly 10 past or 7 minutes past 11. You're quite right, Andrea. And it's, as always, it's a huge pleasure to share a stage with you. Always enjoyable.
Yeah, it's amazing. In your opinion, what is the trends this year?
Yeah, so for us, it's efficiency really sums up what we're needing to do for our customers. The amount of content that's being contributed and the amount of content that's being distributed is ever growing. And we can use and things like AI and stuff form a part of that. But really, our focus is how we get that as efficient as possible for our customers to deliver and be able to do that at scale.
Yeah, you remember a quite refrain that we heard 10 years ago, the content is king. But in my opinion, it's impressive the amount of content and production of video that we assist in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and content still is king, right? But we need to do it and preserve the margin for that monetization. So that's the challenge, right?
We will discover that. And so here in Istanbul, there is Bahadir Kulur from TV Extra. Bahadir, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Andrea, and thanks for having me for the first time.
You have a lot of announcement to do and to realize to us, because from some campaign realized with, for example, Turkish Airlines, and it's quite an interesting model, because an airline company is involved in advertising, a new model of the advertising. It could be that happened something with a very important manufacturers just 10 days ago. It could be.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, correct.
Yeah. So we will reveal very, very soon. But first of all, just to understand the trends and the activities of our speakers, now we present Mango Model. So Wissam, tell us about the trends and what the players and main players and stakeholders worldwide looking for you.
So as I said earlier, today we see a lot of changes in a lot of the workflows that content creators have been following while building platforms. So while, as you said, content is king and will continue to be the king and the queen of platforms, however, getting that content in front of the right eyeballs has changed dramatically. And I mean, with platforms, you know, basically you can serve content anywhere all over the planet, no matter where you are, as long as you have some cultural similarities. And what AI is bringing on top of that layer is that it's streamlining a lot of workflows. It's making the processes for the broadcasters much more efficient, much more cost effective. And it's adding another layer of flexibility to platforms where you can personalize things in a completely different way. So if you are, Andrea, for example, going onto a specific platform, whatever you see is going to be tailored for you as Andrea based on what you like and what you don't like.
Even with some, because as you know, you are in Beirut, we are with the Bahadir in Istanbul, and Jonathan is in Oxford. I mean, I think that this kind of audience is totally different, right, Jonathan? Even Bahadir, the audience that is living in Lebanon is not the same in UK, I guess. And you need to find the right street or the right solutions just to reach the audience.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really interesting point, and we're seeing exactly that same pressure on the networks we build, because that work that's getting done to create all the variants to deliver to the consumers, that work has changed from us having quite a centralized approach to, of course, the more personalized you get, the closer to the edge of the network you have to get when you create those variants as well. And that's creating a really interesting challenge, because we now have to be far more agnostic to where we deploy the pieces of the network that create those variants, that create the fan out to the consumer. And as we use more and more kind of internet delivery services, IP delivery services, we now have to be able to position the bits of our systems wherever is most appropriate to put them, and that gets back to that efficiency piece. So I think it's a really interesting conversation about how that's impacting the design of broadcast
even because we assisted to a very strong and faster phenomenon moving from broadcasters to streamcaster. And the question is how I could monetize the contents with them. How? You have a solution?
Yeah, I mean, today there is no one size fits all on the monetization, and the technology allows you to do that. So let's say you are a customer from Kenya, a user from Kenya. I would know that. I would know how you like to pay, and I would position M-Pesa in front of you, for example. If you are a customer from Lebanon, I would go and say, look, you're going to go through the ads model. So we have a hyper-personalization approach on the content part and on the monetization part, where you can have hybrid models. So you can say, in this country, it's free. In Luca, it's subscription. In Africa, it is pay-per-view, and you have 2 hours to be able to watch for free as a trial. So that is also adding a lot of value for monetizing the content in so many different ways. So it's maximizing the value of content. For that same piece of content, you can sell it in so many different ways. And that in itself is hyper-personalized, utilizing AI and machine learning. So that gives you a lot of flexibility as to no one-size-fits-all business model is going to be positioned in front of your user or consumer.
So I intended that you are like a doctor or a pharmacist, that you need to take the pressure and the HA of the broadcasting company to resolve their problems, because it's quite impossible to manage a global competition as in this way.
You are a Google and you can create a custom-made, beautiful suit for anyone very quickly, and they're going to love it and buy it because you know a lot about them.
And Jonathan, from your side, what is your solution to the broadcasters and the media company, because we know exactly the Nimbra solution, the cloud opportunity to better have a process in terms of distribution and production. So I guess that you innovate a lot, and the evolution is quite near.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, traditionally, Nimbra networks, as you well know, used to be connected solely to lease lines, fiber, and such like. And of course, a lot of our work now revolves around the deployment of virtual Nimbra networks with a product we call Nimbra Edge. And what that allows you to do is make use of completely generic connectivity, but still overlay that reliability and try and push the lowest latency across inherently unreliable networks. So the interesting thing for us now is we're best known for let's say our work in transport, moving these signals around, and most high-end sports broadcast involves some net insight equipment at some point. But what we're seeing now is actually the need to blend that really high-end, low latency delivery in uncompressed or JPEG XS with a whole host of other more highly compressed signals. And our approach now is to be able to deliver that network to anything, whether that's a box at a venue, whether that's a public cloud, or whether that's a node at the very edge of a network to fan out to your local, your local population. And so really for us, our innovation is come in the use of things like container technology to allow us to deploy all the features we have anywhere within a network, whether that's on a box in a venue or whether that's within a public cloud provider. And that flexibility is needed to respond to this difference in different distribution models and this want to monetize and create variance that we've been speaking about.
Jonathan, may I ask you to answer to this question? What is the most surprising technical challenges in delivering 4K, 8K video content to the viewers?
Yeah, certainly can. So obviously the problem with 4K and 8K is, generally speaking, to preserve the quality of that signal at contribution, you need to use up a lot of bandwidth. So I'll counter the use of 4K and 8K. It still does have a place, but what we're seeing more and more of now is people reverting to using 1080p HDR. And so the HDR technology is certainly for distribution is taking the place of 4K. So what we're seeing is 4K and 8K are commonly used only at the very beginning of the contribution network, and that's because you can potentially reduce the number of cameras needed. You can then divide the 8K or the 4K down into HD excerpts for highlights and clips and stuff like that. But we're seeing a trend definitely for distribution to normalize to 1080p HDR because of the challenges of the bandwidth required to deliver those kind of video signals across.
Just to pass the torch for understand exactly the latest update and the new trends in 2025 to TVX. Remember us with the video, the latest innovation and the evolution of Nimbra and Net Insight. So it's quite clear, because we're talking about the importance of AI, the cloud and the live production coming from Jonathan. This is really important, Jonathan. I mean, because when you assist to a live event, like for example, sport, you are looking for a very great quality, video quality, and even storytelling quality. This is the engage of the emotions, right? We're talking before the life of Paul Gascoigne, just to remember a very old champion with a very crazy attitude in the fields. But I mean, this is a kind of engagement. And now another very important phenomenon worldwide in the media industry is the connected TV, right, Bahadir, and the addressable TV and the advertising. How the advertising take a very important role in the video is right.
Yes, and if you want me to talk about the trends in 2025, maybe what we are focused on basically is having more targeting options. The data is important for us as well. So as you said in the beginning of the meeting, we have launched our partnership with LG Connected TV Ads, which will give us a broader targeting options, especially on the content side, because the content is really important for targeting. And this will give us linear TV content targeting, LG channels, viewership targeting, streaming, app usage targeting, game console targeting, and etc. So when we combine with our addressable TV technologies and
so Bahadir, I'm sorry, you have quite clear with this kind of innovation that the monetization, as we some talk before, is a real fact, is an evidence, right?
Look, I think what Bahadir said is quite important, and especially on the connected TV part, Andrea. What connected TVs deliver is captivity and collective viewership, which usually you don't look at when you're looking at web or mobile, because when you're on connected TV, basically it's not one person watching a lot of the time, and it has much higher captivity than when you're watching on the small screen. Your attention span is different, and hence the monetization on connected TV brings in significantly much higher revenues, and that's why it's a crucial part of the distribution strategy of every platform and every broadcaster. They have to be on connected TV, and that resonates with their initial viewing experience. So 10 years ago, you used to watch on that same machine. Today, you can watch on that same machine. The vehicle is the same. It's just that the way that the distribution has happened has changed. So I think that's why it's quite important, and I would second Bahadir on that.
Because Bahadir, the quite impressive concept and paradigm now. In the past, for example, taking note about, for example, UK, Jonathan, help me. The main stakeholders in the media industry was BBC, Channel 4, ITV, I guess, right?
Exactly correct, yes.
Now you have even this, for example, giant of the manufacturers industry, like, for example, LG and Samsung, that is another player in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting, I think, about what local broadcasters, let's say regional broadcasters, still bring is they've got a very good understanding of the demographic. So certainly in the UK, it's still true that even through connected TVs and devices, those national broadcasters still manage to engage the audiences probably better than a lot of other platforms. It's not true everywhere in the world. This behavior is different depending in different areas, but certainly in the UK, the role of the local broadcasters are still very important, even though they're now delivering their services through, connected TV apps and things like, other fast channels and things like this haven't quite had the same impact in the in this area.
Just to add something to. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just to add one thing to what Jonathan said, I can also maybe add that, for instance, in programmatic in DSP, in web or mobile, you're targeting the content, first-party, third-party data, but I mean, you don't ask where the source is coming from. So with these manufacturing ability to target the data, so it's going to make the smaller channels, I can say, much more important maybe, because for, let's say, a sports lover is watching sports. It doesn't have to be on, for instance, on Bein Sport. It can be also on sorry, LGTV channels, or if you are looking for a teenager who is playing PlayStation like 8 hours a day, that's how you can do it through the manufacturer targeting capabilities. And I find it very interesting and also important, because it's the first party data and it's going to be very useful for content targeting, for demographic targeting. And yeah, that's what I can add to maybe Jonathan said.
Yeah, just because there is another word that I had always in the media industry is programmatic advertising. So this is another opportunity in this way. So I make a question to all, Jonathan, Wissam, and Bahadir. What is the solutions? I mean, I would like to thanks Digital News, our media partner, for the question. You need to think globally and act locally, or vice versa. What is the solution to have a very important approach?
Yeah, I think there's advantage in being local. You understand your audience a lot better. You naturally should be able to engage them. And if we talk a lot about monetization, and monetization does increase with globalization, right? You should be able to get more eyes on it, but at the same time, your core business can also drive engagement well. And without engagement, you don't have monetization opportunities. So I think for any local broadcaster, there's opportunity to distribute globally, but also that kind of core local personalized kind of broadcast to your market is going to remain increasingly important in my view.
Okay,
I think the same. Yeah, localization is localization is the most important.
Yeah, most important, local. Just to apply. Wissam, you have a solution, because you have the opportunity, and in my opinion, very interesting point of view, because you see different markets. And I mean, I guess that this kind of markets think globally to have more money to income, but at the same time, they need to put under control the distribution, the cost, and it's quite difficult to realize.
The way to go, Andrea, is globalization through localization, as the gentleman said. And today, no matter how niche your audience is, there is a market. So let's say you are a content creator that creates content for golf lovers. While in your community, you can have 10,000 people who love golf. With OTT, you can reach out to the entire world pretty much at a very low cost. So you're going to find 10,000 people in Africa, 100,000 people in the MENA, 200,000 people in Europe. So that makes up a market. So there is a market, no matter what kind of content segment you're in. And my advice, and this is something where a lot of platforms go wrong, do not try to be the platform of everything. That fight is gone. You already lost it. So don't fight that fight. Try to look at niche markets, produce localized content. With AI, you can give that content wings, so you can sub and dub very quickly. And if that content has a similar cultural similarity with a different market, it's going to work. Look at Casa de Papel in the MENA region. It was a big success. So you can replicate that same model. So it's definitely a globalization through localization.
Thank you, Wissam, because you're talking about the Casa de Papel, and this very amazing experience that during the FED España 2025, we will discuss with the A3 player, because as you know, the history of Casa de Papel is quite interesting, because A3 player and A3 Media distribute the contents, I think in 2017, with a very important success, but nothing compare with the Netflix distribution. So it was very funny. And I could reveal a secret, and I'm sorry that it could be that A3 Media now following the tech talk and probably beat me on the fingers. And I will ruin my life. From that point, Netflix now buy all the productions from Atresmedia before the Atresmedia decide 15 or 20 days before to distribute locally in Spain that kind of content. So it's quite important just to have a pretext to make money and to have a great, good distribution. So we have just 1 minute. Jonathan, let us know about the recent interesting point that you discovered in our media industry, in our world, that is quite interesting to take control, to evaluate, put in attention. There is, in your opinion, very key figure for the next future.
Yeah, so I think we should be astonished at the amount of streams that are getting looked after by some media broadcasters. I was at a meeting last week in Los Angeles, and just to put in context what we're dealing with these days.
This is the reason of my question, because you attend a lot of events worldwide, so.
Yeah, so exactly. I'll give you a soundbite from a customer meeting last week. This customer is dealing with 600,000 live events per year and are creating over a million hours of live content. And to do that at scale can't be done with traditional broadcast approaches. So we have to think differently, and people are doing this outside of traditional broadcast already. We have to learn. We have to think quickly and innovate. And it's astonishing how much work is being done in media in this industry at the moment.
So this is from your point. Wissam, what is important now to evaluate, because it will be the trends and the topics for sure more discussed in our industry?
I think it's definitely important to look at how you can deliver quality content to anyone all over the world, and how you can maximize the value of content. At the end of the day, no matter who you are, a content creator, a broadcaster, or a rights owner, your purpose is to make money out of that platform. So I think the question that you need to answer is how you can utilize all these trends like AI and fast and all these words that you hear to maximize the value of whatever content you produce. And while it makes you more money to sell that content elsewhere, keep in mind that the next 10 years, for you to be relevant, you need to have first line of access to that user. To stay relevant, you need to own your distribution as well. So those are the things that I would want to say, to look after for the year to come.
Thank you. Just before to pass and conclude with Bahadir, remember the FED España 2025 next March 27 in Madrid. You have the opportunity to register in the website effed.show and just to attend the event. And obviously a new great edition in June 5 and 6. And we have a very exclusive announcement today for you, just the confirmation that Disney will be there. So another great player with other stakeholders. So Bahadir, let us know in 30 seconds the importance of the engagement of Turkish Airlines in the campaign and addressable TV.
Will we show the video?
No, we will conclude with the video. Just your comments, okay. We will conclude with the video.
Okay, so the campaign was built on the, as I said before, targeting details are very important for the campaign. And we have separated like drama lovers and Turkish language TV users and some other targeting options from the connected TV. And at the end of the campaign, we had really good CTR rates, view-through rates, and sales numbers were really good as well. So, as I said before, content is important, and the targeting capabilities and knowing the details of your targeting audiences is the most important, I can say, as again.
So if you take note that an airplane with all the passengers inside is another platform that is in, Jonathan's right, huh? I use my...
I spend a lot of time watching media in aircraft, yeah.
Yeah. For that reason, it could be another platform that added to the panorama and scenario of the media industry. So thank you so much, Wissam, for your participation and presence, and to join us from Beirut. Thank you so much. See you in Lucca, I guess. I
will be joining Lucca, definitely.
Thank you so much.
I never miss anything.
Okay, and thanks for the so kindness and generous words about the event. But as I underline every time, that all the delegates that contributed to participate in the events are responsible for the success of that events in June. So Jonathan again will be in Lucca again in June. Thank you so much, and thanks to Bahadir, and congratulations to your city, because it's amazing, great energy, sparkling atmosphere. It's worth it to come here and to visit Istanbul. So
thank you so much. We are looking forward to see all you here.
Okay, back to the restaurant that we spent a very amazing night. Just two nights ago. All you are invited, not too much, but you are invited to be part of the joint. We
are doing groups, maybe one group.
Yeah. We make it sure. Okay. Thank you, Wissam, Jonathan, Bahadir. Thank you to our audience to enjoy the Tech Talk. We will be again with an Italian Tech Talk in 2 weeks. No, it could be in Spanish, because went before the Fed España. So stay tuned, and thank you again to join us. Have a good day.